The investigation into Joe Biden over classified documents is expanding. And why would they do this? Why would they do this? Well, it's because they want to get Joe Biden out of the race. I'm sorry, dude. I know there are people that I like and trust and respect who are saying, no, you're wrong. It's clickbait. Joe Biden is going to be the nominee. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Joe Biden, I do not believe will be the nominee. I mean, he's running now. There's talks about Democrats challenging him, but I can't see it. Why? Why would the Uniparty, facing Donald Trump, who they so desperately despise, why would they run Joe Biden? But how do you get rid of Joe Biden? There's a bunch of different ways. And it may be this documents probe. You see, this documents probe accomplishes two things. One, it will remove Joe Biden from the race. Kamala Harris may then say something to the effect of, look, I was in this to work with Joe Biden, and I think it's only appropriate that a new team step in, if that's the case. Or there's another way to get rid of Kamala Harris in terms of 2024. They have a primary, Newsom wins, and then says, I am choosing a different VP. And yeah, maybe there's political turmoil and maybe there's complaints, but Biden cannot win. The other thing accomplished by this probe, they say, we're not biased. We went up against Trump and Joe Biden. Come on, don't you get it? So when Donald Trump gets charged on the documents, which he already has been, they say, look, we're doing the same thing to Joe Biden. You can't use that as a talking point against us. We went after him all the same. I don't think it really matters anyway. I feel like the growing political division in this country, you basically have two parent factions. One faction, the Trump faction, freedom faction, libertarian, post-liberals, all these people, not all of them big Trump supporters either, are basically saying, we think you're all liars. And we don't trust anything you do for any reason. And the other side just basically says, you're probably lying too, but we'll do whatever you say. Please don't hurt me. That's the gist of it. Here's the story from ABC News. They say the federal investigation into President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents prior to becoming president has grown into a sprawling examination of Obama-era security protocols and internal White House processes, with investigators so far interviewing scores of witnesses, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Sources familiar with the investigation told ABC News. Federal prosecutors and FBI agents from the special counsel Robert Hur's office have been interviewing witnesses for nearly 9 months, targeting an expansive constellation of former aides, from high-level advisors to executive assistants and at least one White House attorney. Several sources estimated that as many as 100 witnesses have already been interviewed, with interviews conducted as recently as last week, and some witnesses asked to return for follow-up interviews. Sources who were present for some of the interviews, including witnesses, told ABC News that authorities had apparently uncovered instances of carelessness from Biden's vice presidency, but that based on what was said in the interviews, it seemed to them that the improper removal of classified documents from Biden's office when he left the White House in 2017 was more likely a mistake than a criminal act. Okay. So, maybe just a mistake. Maybe they don't go anywhere with this. Nevertheless, the special counsel has reached no final determinations, and the investigation is ongoing. In January, shortly after news first surfaced that classified documents had been found at a personal office used by Biden after his vice presidency, Blinken, a longtime aide to Biden, said he and Biden were both surprised to learn that there were any government records taken. It's unclear what Blinken told Hur's team. For a high-stakes special counsel investigation into a sitting president, Hur has operated largely under the radar since his appointment in January, avoiding the attention and media scrutiny of special counsel Jack Smith's probes into former President Donald Trump. I mean, that is indicative of the system, isn't it? Joe Biden is under investigation, and the media doesn't talk about it. ABC News learned from sources that Hur's team has cast a wide net, gathering documents dating back to the early days of the Obama admin and drilling into questions about the task of securely updating the vice president on highly sensitive matters. Investigators have shown witnesses' email chains dating back to at least 2010 and asked for context about those exchanges, sources said. Witnesses have also been pressed about the use of cabinets and safes, sources said. It has been publicly reported that investigators reached for documents dating back to Biden's tenure in the Senate. Dude, I'm sorry, man. They're digging up dirt. Okay. But this is the existing current federal government. So call it whatever you want. I got a simple one for you. I don't know, civil war or something, because I'm sure what they're going to argue is that these are Trump supporting members of the government going after Joe Biden. And sure, fine, whatever, man. Believe whatever it is you want to believe. The reality is Joe Biden is being knocked out of the race. I'm not saying definitively. I'm saying these moves are bad for him and could open the door to a Newsom victory. Take a look at Predict It. Gavin Newsom's at 18 cents. Who will win the 2024 Democratic presidential nomination? Joe Biden's the favorite. Donald Trump is doing better. I think I have Trump. Trump is here at 72 cents. Nikki Haley's at 9. Vivek at 9. Ron DeSantis in 4th place. Oh, man. Talk about a crash. That's so brutal. So brutal. It's a bummer. But here's what I'm thinking, man. Look at these articles, right? Here's one from July 8th. When is the optimal time for Biden to drop out of the race? Really? As if it's a foregone conclusion? Here's one from The Guardian. Biographer says it wouldn't be a total shock if Biden drops out of the 2024 race. And then we have this from The Hill. Pardon Hunter and drop out. How Biden can spare his party, his family, and his image. Sure. Maybe that's the path. I think it's not going to be Joe Biden. I think Gavin Newsom is the smarmy used car salesman who would fare better than most. Michelle Obama probably would do very well. But the issue is everyone's basing the Michelle Obama assumption off of a few things. One, that she wants to run, and two, that she actually has the X factor required. And, X factor is kind of a cop out. What I mean is she needs confidence, charisma, and wit. Does she have those things? We know that she's popular among Democrats, but I don't know if she's going to be able to handle debating or public speaking to the great degree that, Obama could. So she might just be like, I can't do it. The speculation is based off her image, based off of her celebrity rating, that she could be a good candidate. But Gavin Newsom, while he doesn't have the policies, he certainly has the wit and the charisma, and more so than many other people who may be running. So here are my thoughts, man. Look, they're doing a deep investigation into Joe Biden. Right now, Predicted Market has Joe Biden to win at 43 cents, Trump at 37, but Gavin Newsom at 14. I think it's funny that Ron DeSantis is in 4th place despite losing to Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy in the GOP presidential primary predictions. Something doesn't add up there. But Gavin Newsom's right there. Gavin Newsom's going to be debating Ron DeSantis. Why? Neither. I mean, whatever. Maybe it made sense a year ago when Ron DeSantis was actually doing well, but I just don't see it. Ron DeSantis has done too much damage to himself in his campaign. But maybe the idea is that Trump and Biden are both not going to be in the race. Who knows? Who knows, man? Right now, you got two very old people with Trump and Biden. Trump is seemingly spry and running and winning in all the polls. Biden is not. So what happens? For some reason or another, Biden is going to be, he's going to drop out or be removed. I think it's him dropping out because whatever they end up getting on him or doing to him, it results in Joe Biden saying, I'm stepping down, something like that. It's possible. I agree that Joe Biden will be the nominee, but it just seems too far-fetched because if they run Joe Biden, it sounds like they're saying we want to lose. For real. At this point, if the Democrats run Joe Biden, it seems the simple answer is they don't want to win. And I assume they want to win. The first time they ran Biden, sure, many of us I thought he couldn't win. It's crazy. But I discounted the anti-election, right? That people were just voting against Trump. So it didn't really matter who they had, right? So they decided to use someone who was more disposable, someone older, which stands to reason why Joe Biden will not be the nominee. And what may happen is not likely a primary, but for some reason or another, Joe Biden steps down and he says, they could do something like the documents case comes out. Biden comes out and then says something to the effect of, the law states that if you're found, guilty of this documents thing, then you have to do this, that, you can't run for office. And he says, I respect this Constitution. I regret the actions that I took. It was a genuine mistake. But the law is the law and we stand for the law. So I will be stepping down and allowing someone else to take up the mantle and lead this great nation. There's a bunch of ways he could do it. They could just remove him and be like, nope, you're out. And Biden could be like, well, what am I going to do about it? Or Biden could say, we fought a good fight, but for me, perhaps it's time to realize that I'm a bit too old. And he'll smile and he'll laugh and he'll beg, but it doesn't mean not capable Because there's many people, and then he'll pander to the older crowd and say, but the task ahead is going to be difficult. And so we need someone younger, blah, blah, blah. Gavin Newsom steps in, and then Kamala's just out of the picture. The media stops talking about her, and that's it. Everyone's like, how is she going to go if Biden's removed? What about Kamala? And it's like, dude, she'll just disappear. There doesn't need to be a big public statement. She could literally just not do press. But I really, it's going to be a wild year with violence, with chaos. I think probability stands, based on my view and everything I've seen, that Joe Biden will not be the Democrat nominee. They are panicking in desperation to get him to be able to stand up straight. Why would they run him unless they wanted him to lose? Okay, fair point. Perhaps they really want Donald Trump to win for some reason. I don't buy that either. So it seems to me it ain't going to be Joe Biden. We'll see. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.